What's up, you man? What's up? Today, I'm gonna do something new. I'm gonna read this new book that I just bought. Let me find it. It's called How to Talk to Anyone. So I'm just gonna read 10 pages today. Page 1. Part 1. You only have 10 seconds to show you're somebody. The incredible, inescapable, unique essence of you. The moment two humans lay eyes on each other has awesome fantasy. The first sight of you is a brilliant holograph. It burns its way into your new acquaintance's eyes and can stay emboldened in his or her memory forever. Artists are sometimes able to capture this quicksilver, fleeting emotional response. I have a friend, Robert Grossman, an accomplished corporate artist who draws regularly for Forbes, Newsweek, Sports Illustrated, Rolling Stone, and other popular North American publications. Bob has a unique gift for capturing not only the physical appearance of his objects, but zeroing in on the essence of their personalities. The bodies and souls of hundreds of luminaries radiated from his sketch pad. One glance at his caricatures of famous people and you can see, for instance, the insecure arrogance of Madonna, the impressions of Newt Gingrich, the bitterness of Leona Helmerly. Sometimes at a party, Bob will do a quick sketch on a cocktail napkin of a guest, hovering over Bob's shoulder. The onlookers gasp as they watch their friend's image and essence materializing before their eyes. When he's finished drawing, he puts his pen down and hands the napkin to the subject. Often a puzzled look comes over the subject's face. He or she usually mumbles some politeness like, well, that's great, but really isn't me. The crowd's convincing sarcasm of oh yes it is, draws the subject out and supplies any lingering doubt. The confused subject is left to stare back at the world's view of himself or herself in the napkin. Once when I was visiting Bob's studio, I asked him how he could capture people's personalities so well. He said, "It's simple, I just look at them." No, I asked, "How do you capture their personalities? Don't you have to do a lot of research about their lifestyle, the history, No, I told you, Lee. I just look at them, huh? He went on to explain almost every facet of people personalities is evident from the appearance, the posture, the way they move. For instance, he said calling me over to a file where he kept his calculations of political figures. See, Bob said, pointing to angles on various presidential body parts. Here's the boyishness of Clinton, showing me his half smile. The awkwardness of George Bush, pointing to his shoulder angle. The charm of Regina, putting his finger on the ex-president's smiling eyes. The stiffness of Nixon, pointing to the furtive tile of his head. Digging a little deeper into his file, he pulled out Franklin Delano Roosevelt and pointing to the nose high in the air. Here's the pride of FDR. It's all in the face and the body. First impressions are incredible. Why? Because in our fast-paced information overload world of multiple stimuli bombarding us every second, people's heads are spinning. They must form quick judgments to make sense of the world and get on with what they have. Snapshot. The image of you becomes the data they deal with for a very long time. Your body shrinks before your body shrinks before your lips can speak. Is the data accurate? Amazingly enough, yes. Even before your lips part and the first syllable escapes, the essence of you has already asked its way into the brains. The way you look and the way you move is more than 80% of someone's first impression of you. No, not one word need be spoken. I've lived and worked in countries where I didn't speak the native language. Yet without one understandable syllable spoken between us. The years proved my first expressions were on target. Whenever I met new colleagues, I could tell instantly how friendly they felt toward me, how confident they were, and approximately how much structure they had in the company. I could sense just from seeing them move, which were heavyweights and which were the welterweights. I have no extraordinary skill. You'd know too. How? Because before you have had time to process a rational thought, you get a sixth sense. You had no time to process a rational thought. You get a sixth sense about someone. Studies have shown emotional reaction occur even before the brain has had time to register what's causing the reaction. The moment someone looks at you, he or she experiences a massive hit, the impact of which lays the groundwork for the entire relationship. Bob told me he captures that first hit in creating his caricatures, deciding to pursue my own agenda for how to talk to anyone. I asked Bob if you wanted to portray somebody really cool, intelligent, strong, charismatic, principled, fascinating, caring, interested in other people. Easy, Bob interrupted. He knew precisely what I was getting at. Just give them great posture. Just give them great posture, a heads up look, and a heads up look, a confident smile, and a direct gaze. It's the ideal image for somebody who's a somebody. How to look like a somebody. A friend of mine, Karen, is a highly respected professional in the home furniture business. Her husband is an equal big name in the communications field. They have two small sons. Whenever Karen is at a home furniture industry event, everyone pays defer to her. She's a very important person in that world. Her colleagues at conventions jottle for position just to be seen casually chatting with her, and the whole B program rubbing elbows with her for industry bibbles like home furniture, executive, 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 and furniture world. Yet Karen complains when she accompanies her husband to communication functions. She might as well be a nobody. When she takes her kids to school functions, when she takes her kids to school functions, she's just another mom. She once asked me, Lee, how can I stand out from the crowd so people who don't know me will approach me and at least assume I'm an interesting person? The technique is this section. Accomplish precisely that. When you use the next 9 techniques, you will come across as a special person to everyone you meet. You will stand out as a nobody, as a somebody in whatever crowd you find yourself in. Even if it's not your crowd, let's start with your smile. The thing about this year, no one's special in this world, man. No one's special. What makes you extraordinary in this world is just doing the ordinary extra. That's what makes you extraordinary. But no one's special in this world, man. Chapter 1. The floating smile. Smile quick or smile special. One thing is, smiling will take you a long way, man. If you're feeling down, yeah, and you smile, it will change your mood, it will change your day. You, man, yeah, just smile, man. Smile, trust me, it'll change everything. It can even change your perspective in life, man. Just smile, man. Smile quick or smile special. In 1936, one of Dale Carnegine's 6 most on how to win friends and influence people was smile. His edict had been echoed each decade by practically every communications guru who ever put pen to paper or mouth to microphone. However, at the turn of the millennium, it's high time we re-examine the role of the smile in high-level human relations. When you dig deeper into Dale's Decum, you'll find a 1936 quick smile doesn't always work, especially nowadays. The old-fashioned the old-fashioned instant grin carries no weight with today's sophisticated crowd. Look at world leaders, negotiators, and corporate 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 giants. Not a smiling suffragette among them. Key players in all walks of life enrich the smile so when it does erupt it has more potency and the world smiles with them. Researchers have cataloged dozens of different types of smiles. They range from the tight rubber band of a trapped lion to the soft, squishy smile of a tickled infant. There are warm smiles and cold smiles. There are real smiles and fake smiles. You've seen plenty of those plastered on the faces of your friends who say they're delighted to see you. There's lots of fake people out here, man. Just because they smile, that doesn't mean they like you, man. Decided to drop by, and presidential candidates visiting your city who say they're thrilled to be in or big winners know their smile is one of the most powerful weapons, so they'll fine tune it for maximum impact. How to fine tune your smile. How to fine tune your smile. How to fine tune. How to fine tune your smile. I have an old college friend named Missy who just last year took over her family business, a company supplying cockroach boxes to manufacturers. One day she called saying she was coming to New York to court new clients, and she invited me to dinner with several of her prospects. I was looking forward to once again seeing my friend's quick silver smile and hearing her contagious laugh. Missy was an incurable giggler, and that was a part of her charm. When her dad passed away last year, she told me she was taking over the business. I thought Missy's personality was a little bubbly to be a CEO in a tough business. But hey, what do I know about the cockroach box biz? I, and three of her potential clients met in the cocktail lounge of a midtown restaurant, and as we led them into the dining room, Missy whispered in my ear, "Please call me Melissa tonight." Of course, I winked back. Not many company presidents are called Missy. Soon after the matter seated us, I began noticing Melissa was a very different woman from the giggly girl I'd known in college. She was just as charming. She smiled as much as ever. Yet something was different. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Although she was although she was still effervescent, eff, effer, effer, effervescent. I had the distinct impression everything Melissa said was more insightful and sincere. She was responding with genuine warmth to her prospective clients, and I could tell they liked her too. I was thrilled because my friend was scoring a knockout that night. By the end of the evening, Melissa had 3 big new clients. Afterwards, alone with her in the cab, I said, "Missy, you've really come a long way since you took over the company. Your whole personality has developed. Well, a really cool, sharp corporate edge. Huh? Huh? Only one thing has changed," she said. "What's that?" My smile, she said. "You're what?" I asked incredulously. Incredulously. My smile, she repeated, as though I hadn't heard her. "You see," she said, with a distant look coming into her eyes. "When Dad got sick, I knew in a few years I'd had to take over the business. He sat me down and had a life-changing conversation with me. I'll never forget his words. Dad said, 'Missy, honey, remember the old song, I love ya, honey, I love ya, honey, but your feet's too big? Well, if you're going to make it big in the box business, let me say, I love ya, honey, but your smile's too quick.' He then brought out a yellowed newspaper article quoting a study he'd been saving to show me when the time was right. It concerned women in business. It concerned women in business. The study showed women who were slower to smile in corporate life were perceived as more creditable. As Missy talked, I began to think about women like Margaret Thatcher, Gandhi, Golda Meir, Madeleine Albrecht, and other powerful women of the ilk. True, they were not known for quick smiles. Missy continued. The study went on to say a big warm smile is an asset, but only when it comes a little slower, because then it has more credibility. From the moment on, Missy explained she gave clients and business associates her big smile. However, she trained her lips to erupt more slowly. Thus, her smile appeared more sincere and personalized for the recipient. That was it. Mrs. Slower's smile gave her personality a richer, deeper, more sincere cachet. Though true, they were not known for their quick smiles. Missy continued. The study went on to say a big warm smile is an asset, but only when it comes a little slower, because then it has more credibility. From that moment on, Missy explained she gave clients and business associates her big smile. However, she trained her lips to erupt more slowly. Thus, her smile appeared more sincere and personalized for the recipient. That was it. Mrs. Slower's smile gave her personality, a richer, deeper, more sincere catch, though the delay was less than a second. A repression of her beautiful big smile felt it was special and just for them. I decided to do more research on the smile. When you're in the market for shoes, you begin to look at everyone's feet. When you decide to change your hairstyle, you look at everyone's cycle. Well, for several months, I became a steady smile watcher. I watched smiles on the street. I watched smiles on the TV. I watched the smiles of politicians, the corporate giants, and world leaders. My findings amidst the sea of flashing teeth and parting lips, I discovered that people perceive, perceived to have the most credibility and integrity were just ever so slower to smile. Then when they did, their smiles seemed seemed to to steam into every cre- cre- crevice crevice of the face and envelop them like a slow flood. Those I call the flowing technique, the flooding smile. Technique 1. The flooding smile. Don't flash an immediate smile when you greet someone, as though anyone who walked into your line of sight would be the beneficiary. Instead, look at the other person's face for a second. Pause, soak in the persona, then let a big, warm, responsive smile flood over your face and overflow into your eyes. It will engulf the repression like a warm wave. The split-second delay convinced people your floating smile is genuine and only for them. Let us now travel back a few inches north to two of the most powerful communications tool you possess, your eyes. Chapter 2, Sticky Eyes. How to detonate those grenades resting on your nose. It's only a excuse me. It's only a slight exaggeration to say Helen of Troy could sink ships with her eyes, and Dave Crockett could stare down a bear. Your eyes are personal grenades that have the power to detonate people's emotions, just as martial arts masters register their fists as lethal weapons. You can register your eyes as psychological lethal weapons when you master the following eye contact techniques. Big players in the game of life look beyond the convention, conventional wisdom that teaches keep good eye contact. For one, they understand that to certain suspicious or insecure people, intense eye contact can be a virulent intrusion. When I was growing up, my family had a Haitian housekeeper whose fantasies were filled with witches. Fantasies were filled with witches, warlocks, and black magic. Zola refused to be left alone a room with Louis, my Simonese cat. Louis looks right through me. Louis looks right through me, sees my soul. She's whispered to me fearfully. In some cultures, intense eye contact is sorcery. In others, staring at someone can be threatening or disrespectful. Realizing this big plays in the international sense, prefer to pack a book on cultural body language differences in their carry on rather than a Brussels, perhaps, phrase book. In our culture, however, big winners know exaggerated eye contact can be extremely adventurous, especially between the sexes. In business, even when romance is not in the picture, strong eye contact packs a powerful wall-up between men and women. A Boston Center conducted a study to learn the precise effect. The researchers asked opposite-sex individuals to have a 2-minute casual conversation. They tricked half the subjects into maintaining intense eye contact by directing them to count the number of times their partner blinked. They gave the other half of the subjects no special eye contact directions for the chat. When they questioned the subjects afterwards, the unsuspecting blinkers reported significantly higher feelings of respect and fondness for their colleagues who, unbeknown to them, had simply been counting their blinks. I've experienced the closeness, intense eye contact engenders with a stranger firsthand. Once when giving a seminar to several hundred people, one woman's face in the crowd caught my attention. The participant's appearance was not particularly unique, yet she became the focus of my attention throughout my walk. Why? Because not for one moment did she take her eyes off my face. Even when I finished making a point and was silent, her eyes stayed hungrily on my face. A sense she couldn't wait to savor the next insight to pour from my lips. I loved it. Her concentration and obvious fascination inspired me to remember stories and make important points I'd long forgotten. Right after my talk, I resolved to seek out this new friend who was so enthralled by my speech. As people were leaving the hall, I quickly slid behind my big fan. "Excuse me," I said. My fan kept walking. "Excuse me," I repeated a tad louder. My Maya didn't vary her pace. As she continued out the door, I followed her into the corridor and tapped her shoulder gently. This time she whirled around with a surprised look on her face. I mumbled some excuse about my appearance, appreciation. I mumbled some excuse about my appreciation, appre- appre- appreciating her. I mumbled some excuse about my appreciation her, concentration on my talk. I'm wanting to ask her a few questions. Did you get much of the cinema I ventured? Well, not really, she answered candidly. I had difficult I had difficulty I had difficulty understanding what you were saying because you were walking around on the platform facing different directions. In a heartbeat, I understood hearing the woman was hearing impaired. I did not captivate her as I had expected. She was not intrigued by my talk as I hoped. The only reason she kept her eyes glued on my face was because she struggled to read my lips. Nevertheless, her eye contact had given me such pleasure and inspiration during my talk that tired as I was, I asked her to join me for coffee. I spent the next hour recapping my entire cinema just for her. Powerful stuff, this eye contact. This is it for today. Tomorrow we'll continue. This book here is good, man. It's giving me lots of insight. Yeah, I like it so far.